the franchise I want to come back is a childhood favorite of mine. We've listed all our favorite our childhood RPGs at this point, and I think it's time for me to reveal mine. Nintendo, come on, bring back Golden Sun. Now, I know why they're not going to bring it back. I know why they're not going to bring it back. It's like Dark Dawn, when it came out on I think that was the DS, it didn't do that well. Like it was kind of, the reviews on it were mixed, and I think the sales weren't that great. So looking at that, and that was like 2010, man, it's been so long. Looking at that, I can see why they probably don't want to revisit the franchise. And Camelot, the developers of the Golden Sun series, I think now they're pretty much working on like the Mario Tennis games, like the spin. No, not even tennis, like Mario Golf, I think. Like golf and tennis. They're working on like the side Mario games, which I think, I won't say is a waste of their talent, just because, I mean, people like those games, so I can't.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's going to sell better, but it's not as creatively interesting.
Yeah, so I can understand. Yeah, so I mean, I can't be mad at the fact they're working on the games that are actually going to sell better and that have an audience. But at the same time, the child in me who grew, like Golden Sun for me, that was the game that truly got me into RPGs. Like I remember, well, outside of Pokemon Red, when I got Golden Sun 1, played that on the Game Boy Advance, and I just fell in love. The soundtrack was spectacular. I still, to this day, every now and then listen to the Venus Lighthouse theme. Man, amazing. The Djinn, like the battle system. That series has still some of the best summons like in RPG history, in my opinion. They just were so cool for their time. And the sequel of The Lost Age, it was really good. What's up, Sage?
I just for a brief second, what happened to summons? Outside of Final Fantasy,
just in general,
like they all remember what every RPG used to have summons, and then out of nowhere they was all like, "We give up."
I feel like back then, during like that era, summons were popular just because at that time, like that cinematic experience, we weren't used to it, but now it's like every game is cinematic in some way. So like the experience of watching a summon isn't as mind blowing. And let's be honest, a lot of people now are like, I don't want to watch the game, I want to actually play it. So I think that may be the reason why summons aren't like the selling point that they used to be. But
it's ironic because Final Fantasy 16 is literally marketed as all summons.
All summons.
Well, it looks like you get like summon battles. So I mean, hey, maybe it'll be the game to bring it back. Like Square is the only RPG company at this point that I could see like really making summons a strong thing again. So we'll see. But here's how I think Golden Sun could come back. I don't think they should make a new game. I think they should remake the first one. Like remake it in the style of, I hate to say it again, Trials of Mana, or something along the lines of
what if it looked like Octopath?
That's kind of what I was trying to think of, like how would that look?
HD 2D.
Kind
of like the Dragon Quest 3 remake.
That wouldn't be bad. I think that could work. Like, I think it could work along those lines. It could work either way for me. Clean up the sprite work, whether they're like 3D models or whether they're like sprites or whatever. Like, I'd be fine with that. Like, the summons I think will look gorgeous in the Octopath style, or they would also look good in the Trials of Mana way too. So, I think that. Excuse me. I think that that's the way that it should come back, is that they should remake it. And I literally just thought of that as you asked me. I was like, what if they remade Golden Sun instead of like trying to do a sequel? I think that would be the way to get people interested in again is to redo the first game, because the first game, it still tells a great story. Summons are still great, characters are still great. There's some things that they could change, for modern times, but I think that that's a series that's worth revisiting. And also, like, outside of like your Fire Emblem, I can't even count like Mario RPG anymore, I guess, because that friend
the
Mario and Luigi,
Paper Mario.
Well, Paper Mario, Paper Mario still lives. So like outside of like Paper Mario, Fire Emblem, Nintendo doesn't really have like a flagship RPG series, and I think that it's just a waste.
Xenoblade.
Oh, okay, okay.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Don't have the Xenoblade fans on our ass, bro.
Okay, fine.
You got to draw the ire of some crazy people.
Fine. I don't have a Switch, so I forgot about Xenoblade, just because when I think Xenoblade, I'm still kind of thinking like Xenogears, Xenosaga, kind of like that era. So it's like I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, you are right. It's like that is their RPG now. But I guess outside of that.
They could use
another RPG series, and I think it'd be great if Golden Sun could come back. But I mean, look, the fact you all mentioned Xenoblade, it's like, look how well that's done for them. I think that's proof that they could use another franchise like that in their wheelhouse. I think that would be great for Nintendo. So bring it back. I would love to see it. I think that it would do Nintendo well to bring back Golden Sun, to do like a remake of that. If at least give it a try. If it doesn't work, well, you know what? Hey, it can go back into the dirt where it came. So hey.
What's going on, Key?
I had to bring up, man. I'm glad you brought up Golden Sun, man. That's got to be like the game I played the most on emulator, because I just love the feeling of it. And I remember my dad would always race my emulator every few weeks because he just didn't like me playing games, downloading games on the computer. He just did. And I just kept downloading it, and I put it right back on there. I started from the beginning. I did not care. I loved Golden Sun. Good choice. I'd love to see their franchise come back. Great choice.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch is really also like the prime system for this, because I know like Japan, they really like playing RPGs on the Switch. So it's like, why not bring back a series like Golden Sun? I think that's just perfect for the era that we're in. For the handheld, you could if you want to play it on the TV, stick it in the dock. If you want to play it on the go, you just go. So I don't see a reason why to not give it a chance in some kind of way.
I mean, I agree. But I also feel like RPGs tend to do well. But I won't say tend to do well, but like a lot of RPGs wind up doing better than you would think they do. And yet a lot of times, they choose, and by they, I don't mean Nintendo, I mean all developers tend to choose like an easier option. Like, it's incredible to me. There's yet to, as far as I know, be like a big AAA RPG to fail. And so you would think that would inspire a lot of copycats, but I guess the price kind of scares people off. Because
I guess you have to invest in building a world. You have to create a story, characters that are memorable. It's just so much you have to stick into an RPG that I could see why some developers are like, we don't want to go through that. Let's just make Mario Golf 16.
Exactly. That's why I was going to say, even the smaller RPGs, like the JRPGs, tend to be more mid-tier in budget and small and or indie tier. Like that AA tier. Basically, you see a lot of small, but even then, even though those games tend to do pretty well, like Fire Emblem is doing very well for itself. Xenoblade is doing very well for itself. I imagine Xenoblade 3 is going to outpace the sales of Xenoblade 2 rather quickly. I bet by next month, Xenoblade 3 has some sales where we damn, it sold all of that. I guarantee
those reviews were monstrous. They were ridiculous.
It couldn't break that JRPG barrier, but it got as close as possible. I think it's like an 89 on Metacritic. That's about as good as you're gonna get for. And then everything was I just saw so many 9s, like a couple of 7s, of course, because it's an 89. But I saw so many 9s. People fucking high praise of that game. And I imagine that and then the hype behind it was huge. So I imagine that game's gonna sell quite well. And I mean, if appropriately budgeted, I think Golden Sun would do very well. So I agree they should bring that franchise back.